They called it love, but it was actually labor. Welcome to episode 2 of the Feral Podcast, where deconstruction meets dangerous women. Today, we're looking at Cristina Yang from Grey's Anatomy on her almost wedding day, what it cost for her to shrink for Burke in the name of love. She felt love for this man, and the relief her body finally felt when the performance was collapsed. Now, this is a podcast for dangerous women, so let's define that for a minute. Are you a dangerous woman? Late diagnosed ADHD, firstborn daughter from a high control religious system and or narcissistic family dynamic. Oh, if this is you, then this is for you. And why does all that make us dangerous? It's because we were born into systems, we were indoctrinated into systems that are designed to use us, to squish us into little molds so that we can be the minions, the second bananas, the proper uppers, the support staff, the unthanked largely support staff for a system that extracts labor from women. And even in Grey's Anatomy, Cristina Yang, like, she's such a badass cardiothoracic surgeon in the making, because this is in season 3 that we're looking at. Even she fell prey to the old narratives. And we're going to take a closer look, not just to roast, although we'll have a little roasty do, but mainly to examine the patterns and to do a little critical discourse analysis, and then in real time together to transmute that energy into the power that we need to live into the lives that we never could before. Because if you've been indoctrinated into these scripts that are so incredibly confining and limiting, then it's we need to break free from that. And one more thing about us dangerous women. Okay, we were raised to be second bananas, minions, scapegoats, the heavy emotional lifters. A lot of us were therapists for our parents. We raised our siblings. Am I getting warm? So here's a superpower that we have, though, that a lot of people start taking on as a liability and going, oh, I'm an empath, which means I need to soak up everybody's rotten feelings and do cleanup duty for heavy, messy emotions. Not anymore. We were raised to do that, of course, but not anymore. Here's the superpower that we have. We have incredibly heightened, extra perceptive nervous systems. We can clock what's going on in a room. We can zoom in on somebody's energy. And I did very well. I was known as a prophetess back in my Christian ministry days, over 20 years ago. And most recently, giving astrological readings, I've made people millions of dollars just being able to spot patterns and hone in on things. And some of that was predictive. And that's all fine and well. But what it really is renting out your nervous system to other people, which is why I don't do it anymore. Oh yeah, we've done a whole nervous system journey. And what I do know for sure is that as a dangerous woman, you have the ability within you to, like, you are already perfectly primed to be able to spot what's going on and know the truth of what's happening, no matter what someone or some group is saying. You know the truth already in your body. And the more we learn how to regulate, which we're going to do in real time today, the more, specifically for a woman's body, although it works for anybody, the more we get to shift into power instead of, I'm an empath. Sound good? So let's talk for a minute about Cristina Yang. So she is madly in love with this surgeon, Preston Burke. They have an incredible connection, although from the very earliest days, he was using her to regulate himself. He wasn't really seeing her. He kind of saw her, but he says, Christina needs to be pushed. So let's get into it with Christina Yang. So we know that this isn't just about a failed romance. It's about her reputation. It's the way a woman's brilliance can be reframed as coldness or drama the moment she stops performing as expected. If you've ever been scapegoated, blamed for the very cracks that you exposed, the very lies, untruths, extractive dynamics that you exposed, you were telling the truth. You know this story in your bones. Let's have a look.
He's gone. I'm free. Damn it. Oh, God, get us off. We can take us off. Take us off. Please.
In this cutting scene, what a scene. Meredith, her best friend, literally cuts her off from the performance, the role that she never wanted to play. She never wanted to get married. She never wanted a big wedding. She never wanted to wear the choker, which we'll get into. She didn't want any of this. And in one iconic scene, Mama took her eyebrows.
He just flat out told me.
Meredith, you know how sometimes it's about you and sometimes it's about me? This is really, really about me.
Whoa.
Mama took my eyebrows. She took my eyebrows, and now I am a Burke.
And she is just this shattered shell of her former self, her formidable, impressive, feral self. Because in playing that support role that she was never intended to play, Christina didn't just feel hollowed out, she felt humiliated. Her nervous system, once wired for surgical brilliance, was hijacked by the slow burn of chronic fawning. Burke wasn't listening to her. Weak men don't care for dangerous women, for authentic women. They want someone they can mold. Earlier he says, Christina needs to be pushed. What the hell? Burke called it love. Christina called it love. Their friends called it love. But what it really was covert extraction. He collapsed and she saved him. And then she ended up just getting propelled into this role that she never wanted or asked for, but she loved him, and so she did this. Christina's nervous system wasn't breaking down. She was having a release, for sure, but it was breaking free. This is how reputations get rewritten in families, workplaces, churches. The one who absorbs the pressure, hides the dysfunction, and makes everyone else look good, becomes the good one until she burns out, until she stops playing with herself and letting others play with her, and then she becomes the problem. And that's what I mean by a dangerous woman, although we are, because the moment we stop playing these roles, then we can come into our true, authentic power and maybe, just maybe, participate in matriarchy. Yeah. It's collective, it's collaborative, it's creative. That's the kind of world I want to see. So let's name this dynamic, because if you're a dangerous woman, it's going to be familiar. Let's call this leash what it was. Emotional support animal leash. Oh, I've played it. Burke clipped it on Christina the moment he felt wobbly in his own power, and he liked how she steadied him. Burke didn't want Christina whole in her authenticity. He wanted her tamed, domesticated, useful, small enough to make him look good, brilliant enough to make him look good, but always the second banana, the underling, the support animal. This is the moment that cuts bone deep, especially for late diagnosed ADHD women, firstborn daughters, ones who were brought up in high control religious systems, doesn't matter which one, or narcissistic family systems. We were taught to be both exceptional and invisible, especially our needs, am I right? I am. That's the blueprint of a scapegoat. Brilliant enough to hold the system together, expendable enough to blame when it cracks. And I've seen its devastation firsthand with online reputation attacks that became viral overnight. Christina's unraveling, it isn't drama. It's what it looks like when a body says it's fed up of being emotional surge protectors, where it's simply expected, being the backstage crew for someone else's spotlight, the ones who stayed sweet, sharp, and stable, hoping to be chosen. But here's what the systems didn't tell us. You can read a whole damn library on deconstruction. You can get a PhD in women's studies. You can understand every pattern intellectually. But unless your body feels safe at last, you will repeat the pattern. So let's take care of that right here, right now. It'll feel good, I promise. Newsflash. If you were born a woman, if you have a uterus, you have a completely different nervous system than men do. And our master nervous system regulator is oxytocin. It's the bonding hormone. And it not only happens during, but it also happens, I'm trying to stay good for the algorithms. It is pleasure. It can be something as simple as being outside. Like I'm loving, not the yard equipment sounds necessarily, but I'm loving the birds. I'm loving the breeze. I'm loving the temperature right now. It feels good. We can do things like havening. That just means rubbing your hands, even just touching yourself with kindness and just connection. That is the biggest game changer there is for our nervous systems. So let's just take a moment. Another thing you can do, by the way, is even candle gazing. I mean, of course, there's the long bubble baths and whatever, but really and truly, even just putting on a little hand lotion with loving, connected intention is more regulating than you can possibly believe. And that's based by all the latest and greatest medical research, so no downside. So I want to offer that to you. And in my private work, we do somatic constellations where you can change roles and you can do it in a moment. And it's stable. It's the most incredible metabolizing work I've ever done in my life. And I am trauma informed. It's incredible. Because for me, I got tired of giving astrological readings and having people come to me in crisis. And with the online stuff, I could work that out. But borrowing mostly on technical knowledge and intuition, figuring out which path to take. But I wanted to get through. I didn't just want to spot the patterns. I wanted to metabolize them, to reclaim power, to show people how to reclaim their power instead of, well, this is coming, that's coming, this is probably why this or that. It's like, that's great. I wanted more. So, when did you cut the leash? your emotional support animal leash. Maybe it was the day you stopped becoming volunteer therapist in your friend group. The moment you said no to a job that praised your loyalty but never paid your worth. The time you stopped trying to be emotionally palatable for someone else's comfort while shrinking from your own thoughts and feelings because they would probably be demonized. You're not too sensitive. You were conditioned to ignore your sensitivity and tune right into the other person to make them feel good. But this sensitivity is sacred. It's a signal, not a flaw. And once I stopped performing for approval, I could finally hear my own creative rhythm. I could finally move in a power that feels completely authentic and very satisfying. So let's make it simple. One practice, one choice to meet yourself kindly. Take a breath. Let your eyes rest on something beautiful, a horizon, a picture, or even the flame of a candle. Stroke your arms in a soothing rhythm like you would comfort a child. Or play with your pet and let that delight register fully in your body. Oxytocin is the bonding hormone. It's about connection, and connection to pets, connection to your own body is incredibly powerful. So each one of these moments is a micro reclamation. Each one whispers to your system, you are safe, you are alive, you are free to create. And that's exactly the energy we need right now. Because here's the thing, the most dangerous thing you can do in a world built on control, manipulation, domination, and basically erasure of your essential nature can be to become fully, gloriously yourself. And when you feel safe in your body, you can freely write your own story. Take it back from those who would write it for you in a version that suits their narrative and serves their desires. We're done with that. Are you a dangerous woman? I hope so.